Okay, how's it going, everybody? Damn, let me turn that down a little bit. All right, thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for subscribing to the new channel. And hold on, let me get this. Whatever. So today we just finished day 2 of Johnny Depp's testimony. We got a lot to cover, so let's just jump right in. Okay, now Johnny Depp basically came out and said he felt like he was dating his mother. He would try and walk away from Amber Heard, and she wouldn't let him. Whenever she, remember that, whenever she would start the arguments, she would always stop him from running away and going away. Okay, that's what she would do. She was always doing that. Classic narcissistic behavior. All right. So he even said it. He's like, dude, it felt like I was dating my mother. And he said that not in a perverse way either. So then they asked him what would the argument start? How would they start? And he said it would start with a slap and then a shove. And eventually she'd probably throw a TV remote at my head. A TV remote. And by the way, later in the testimony, he says, and they even showed the audio recordings, all the audio recordings that are on my page on TikTok. They showed those, all the audio recordings we have here, and they even showed an audio recording where she admitted to throwing vases and pots and pans at him, at his head. What? And then he also talked about how she would use info against him that he gave her. She smirked when he said she wouldn't let me go see my kids. This woman was basically like the evil stepmom, essentially. That's basically what she was. She was a horrible stepmom. She was a horrible girlfriend. And from what he was talking about, it kind of just sounds like she was a drunk. Like she was drinking wine all the time, and she was drunk all the time, and she was on massive amounts of drugs all the time. And that's what it sounded like. And you want to know what? That's more believable than Johnny Depp doing it, because she had all of her friends with her all the time. I mean, her friends had their own penthouse that Johnny Depp owned. So, really? Like, you're going to try and do that? I don't know. But let's see here. Why did he stay? The attorney asked, why did he stay? He said it was relating to his father and the way his father would deal with his mother and the way his mother would beat him up and beat on him, and his dad stayed and all that kind of stuff. So really, essentially, Johnny Depp was being his parents. He had a relationship with his mother because this woman was exactly like his mother. And he was timid. He knew, well, hold on. I'm going to take that back. Was he timid though? Or did he know that he was a fucking multimillionaire rich person? And if he would have hit Amber Heard for real, then she would have gone to the papers. She would have gone to social media, and he knew he would have been fucked. He was smart. Johnny Depp was smart. And Amber Turd, you're going to hear why later. Okay. And then he goes on to say that she was always treating him like shit. She was always mean to him. She was always angry. And it wasn't the person that he had fallen in love with, right? And he says, I don't know what her motivations were. Maybe just jealousy or hatred. I don't know. So essentially, dude, imagine, and it's not really that hard to imagine, more than likely this girl was jealous of him because she's an actress and he's an actor. And he was always getting movies. He always had roles. He was always getting paid. And she ain't got shit. She doesn't have anything. She sucks at acting. She barely has any movies that she's in. So that makes a lot of sense right there. I don't know what her motivations were. Maybe just jealousy or hatred. And I've talked about that before. Maybe she didn't even actually like him. Maybe she saw him as a mark. Maybe she saw him as someone that she could get all money. And treat him like an ATM, because that's essentially what she was doing with her friends. And let me see. And that's later though. I'm not going to talk about that. That's later right now. Okay. Oh, and then look, he says the Amber Heard that I knew the first year and a half was not this opponent. He said it wasn't my girl. She was my opponent. So those two things are related easily. She was jealous that he was more successful. That's all it was, man. She didn't like that she had no career, that she sucked at acting, and that he was getting Pirates of the Caribbean 5. The dude, I didn't even realize that they made 5 of those movies. I thought there was only 3, but I'm really old. So then he talks about how she spoke, that he would always leave, right? Every time that they would argue, he would always try to go away. And every time he would go away, well, not every time, but multiple times, he said she had spoken on suicide on multiple occasions, and that she would tell him, I can't live without you. I don't know what I'm going to do without you. Classic toxic narcissist behavior. Classic. This woman is like textbook. And when I say textbook, I mean like you go to Psychology 101 in freshman year. That's what Amber Heard is. Classic textbook narcissist. He didn't even hide the phone. Oh, and then you heard all the audio recordings, right? And Johnny Depp said, I didn't even hide the phone to record, and because she would deny that she went crazy. So essentially what was happening is they would argue, and then the next day she would deny that they ever argued and that she went off on him. So essentially all those audio recordings that you heard, yes, they were for the marriage counselor, but it was also so he could prove to her that she was a crazy bitch. Oh, sorry. Oops, I can't say that word. Women are going to get mad. Sorry. And then, here we are. He said she was always drinking, very easily drank 2 bottles of wine per night. Per night. Excuse me, that kind of sounds like an alcoholic. And she called him an alcoholic. She called him a druggie. And then you find out that she, at her wedding, bro, at her wedding, her and all of her stupid ass friends were taking ecstasy and doing all kinds of drugs. And all he was doing was smoking a little weed. So who's the alcoholic? 2 bottles of wine a night? Who's the alcoholic? Taking ecstasy at your wedding? Who's the drug addict? I wonder, Amber. Next, she made a scene because I wanted to sell. Oh, and apparently they went out to celebrate something. I didn't write what it was, but he wanted to just have a simple glass of champagne. But since he was sober, she got livid. She got so mad that she got up and went to the restroom. And when she came back, she started abusing him verbally. Okay, she said he was apoplectic. She called him weak, a mess, an alcoholic. She told him, your kids are not proud of you. They can't stand what you're doing. That's just verbal abuse. That's all it is. Classic verbal abuse, man. Like, to bring someone's kids into the arguments? Like, who the fuck do you think you are, lady? Like, honestly, who the fuck do you think you are? So originally she had told him, hey, I think you should stop drinking, it'll help us and it'll help the relationship, right? So then they go through all that, what we just talked about. Then after that scene that she made at the restaurant, he goes on and says that he asked her to stop drinking and she said no. She said that she didn't have a problem. What is that? Classic alcoholic behavior. Oh, I don't have a problem. I could quit whenever I want to. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fine. Classic druggy alcoholic behavior. And then, so he went on to say that he was going to detox from the Roxycontin that we talked about yesterday. He went to an island that he owned, where he had a house, and that's where he wanted to detox, right? Well, apparently Amber Heard forced herself on the island. Like, he didn't want her to go. He said, I was very uncomfortable for Amber to join me on the island to detox because as things could fluctuate rapidly in our relationship, I didn't need that. So essentially what he's saying is that while he was detoxing, he didn't want her to start any shit, to give him any kind of bullshit so that way he would want to take anything, right? Okay, then this right here is going to piss you off. So be ready. Then he's going through withdrawals because he's detoxing off of opiates. So he's having a withdrawal and he's telling Amber, oh wait, that was after. Before that, Amber Heard made a deal with his doctors during his detox, and she made a deal that she was going to be administering his drugs, like the medicine, so that way you don't withdraw so hard. So apparently, when he was withdrawing so damn hard that he wanted the medicine, the stuff to make you not withdraw so hard. And she said no. So that means he was on the floor crying he said he was having he said it feels like your insides are trying to come out. And she told him, no, I'm not going to give you the medicine until 4 o'clock. Which means, do you think that this woman wanted that and she liked it? She probably liked seeing him on the floor right there in pain. There's absolutely no doubt. There's no doubt about that. She wanted him in pain. She liked it. And she even told him, no, I'm not going to give you your medicine. I don't care. It's not until 4 o'clock. Jeez. So then he was crying to her. He was crying to her to give him the medicine. And after that episode happens, he wanted her to leave. So essentially, instead of getting her to leave, he leaves the island because he wants to get off the island. So what does Amber Heard do? She goes into classic narcissistic behavior. She starts accusing him. Oh, you're abandoning me. You're throwing me out. You're not appreciative of anything that I'm doing. What? He's the one detoxing. It's his problem. It's not your problem, you dumb asshole. What an asshole, dude. So then in order to get her away from him, he had to get her a bungalow at the Beverly Heights Hotel so she would get away, and all of her friends went there with her. Okay? That's one of the most expensive places in a hotel, a bungalow. I guess, I don't know if it's like a penthouse suite, but it's a bungalow. That's like a big deal. So, as we were talking about the wedding earlier, now we're going to talk about the wedding. All of her friends and family were there, dinner, dancing, and drugs. That's what he said. Amber Heard was doing drugs at her own wedding while she was drinking her wine, while she was dancing and having dinner and just popping a few ecstasy. Hey, why not, right? Some ecstasy with my wedding. Who the hell wouldn't? Who wouldn't want that? Yeah, right. So then, before the wedding though, he wasn't able to get a prenup. He wanted a prenup right before the wedding, and every time that he would bring up the prenup to her, she would get pissed, and she would start an argument, and she would storm out of the room. So what does that mean? See? I mean, I can't even believe that this is even a question now, because you're going to see the next two things. After the wedding, they wanted to get a post-nup, which is basically a prenup, but it's after the wedding. So then the attorneys start telling her what a post-nup is. She freaks out. She leaves the room. She goes to meet him, and she tells him, you don't trust me. And he's like, what are you talking about? Why? And she says, I'm not even in your will. So essentially, she won't sign a prenup. She won't sign a post-nup. And she's angry that she's not in his will. This lady wants all of his money. I told you, she doesn't even like him. She probably never liked him. I can't even believe that we're having this conversation. She probably never, ever, ever liked him. He was a mark from the break. That's what it was. It was right off the bat, he was a mark. She knew what she wanted. She wanted to do him like an ATM. She wanted to take him for all he was worth. And then she probably had the plan, dude. She probably had the plan that at the end of the relationship, she was going to fake abuse allegations so that way she would be able to get all the money she wanted. Dude, this woman, it's very, very simple, man. This woman was out to get all his money. Okay? So now we're going to get into the story about the finger, his finger that she got cut off. So what happened was they were at one of his homes, okay, and they started arguing, which she started as usual. So he's running from her. Dude, he ran from her 9 different rooms she followed him to. He ran to, I believe it was 5 restrooms and 2 bedrooms and 2 other rooms, like normal rooms. So essentially she chased him throughout this entire mansion, right? Then he goes downstairs to the basement where he finds a bottle of vodka. He takes some shots of the vodka, but he was sober, right? As I had told you, because he had detoxed. So she follows him down to the basement. And then she starts insulting him even more because he was drinking. And then she said, let me see if I wrote it down here. She said, oh, no. No, that's not it. That's not it. Okay. She was talking about his kids again. She was doing all that stuff. But then she gets the bottle of vodka. She throws it at him. It misses his face. He doesn't hit him, right? So he goes behind the bar to get another bottle of vodka and he starts drinking again. And apparently he was sitting down and he had his hand like on the table or on the bar. And she grabbed the bigger bottle of vodka, which he was drinking, and she launched it at him. And the bottle of vodka missed and it hit the bar where his hand was and it completely shattered and his entire top of the middle finger came off. And then guess what? She took off his top of the middle finger and he didn't even tell the doctor that she did it. This guy loved her so much that he didn't even tell anyone she was the one that cut off his middle finger tip. I mean, that's love, bro. I can't even believe that he would do that. So then he starts describing how she always started to fight with him. He would follow her. She would follow him around all the houses, and then this fight right here is where he describes where he was trying to get into his office away from her, and she was chasing him. And all of a sudden, she comes from behind and she starts hitting him in the back of the head. He puts his arms down, and he said that he turned around, he got her like a bear hug, and he tried to stop her. And apparently what happened, you can already see it because it's totally woman. You can see it. Apparently she was like, oh, you hit me, you headbutted me. So then after that happened, she leaves the room. He said she left the room for 7 minutes. And she comes back with a Kleenex in her nose. And she pulls the Kleenex out and there's red on the Kleenex. So then after she leaves the room, the dumbass put the Kleenex in the trash. So then he goes to get the Kleenex to check it out, right? And it's nail polish. Oh my God. So then we move on to her birthday. Her birthday. She's treating him like shit on her birthday. And I'm going to tell you straight up, I think she kept on treating him like shit because everything about everything was bait. I think she was trying to bait him every single time to hit her. I think she was trying to bait him every single time to physically get violent so that way she'd be able to screw his life up royally. I'm telling you, dude, she was jealous that he was such a big star. She wanted to bring him down. There's absolutely no doubt about that in my mind anymore. Absolutely no doubt. So getting back to her birthday. Now, on her birthday, he's late because he had a meeting and they were telling him about all of this money that he's missing. And then he tells her, I'm going to be late. I'm in a meeting and it's running long. And she says, oh, well, can you pick up some wine and some weed? So then he does it. He picks up the wine, he picks up the weed, he goes to her birthday, and she's already wasted on probably 2 bottles of wine because that's how much of an alcoholic she is. So then apparently she starts beating him down verbally the same way she always does. The party ended, and he was backing away. He always backed away, right? And he goes and he gets in bed because the party's over. She's changing, she's taking her makeup off. So then she goes in the bedroom where he is, and she literally starts going off on him again. And he's laying in bed, he's reading a book. And he said that when he didn't respond to her, like when he didn't start getting angry at her, he said that she literally got up from the bed. She went around the front of the bed to his side, and she started beating on him. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm not gonna. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. So then he gets up because she's hitting him, right? She's hitting him. He gets up and he grabs her by the shoulders to sit her down. And I want you to pay attention to that because the other attorney is about to start. Excuse me. And you know You know, when that part comes out, that's what they're gonna say. Well, when you grabbed her by the shoulders to sit her down, did you hurt her? Were you being violent? Were you being too? Were you using your strength? No, no, you fucking moron. Jeez. So then he sits her down, right, and he says to her, "I'm leaving. I'm gonna leave you. Like I'm done with this." And she loses it, and he says, "Whatever, I'm out of here." He starts walking to the door. She literally runs in front of him, gets in front of the door, and she squares up on his ass. And he looks at her, and this is what he said. He said, "What are you gonna do? Hit me? You know what? If you want to hit me, go ahead and hit me." And she did. And then he said, "Is that it? Or you want to do it again?" And she did it again. And after that, he grabs her again by the shoulders and he sits her down. So, what exactly do you think? What exactly do you think? They're going to say that he grabbed her and he shook her and he was all violent and bleh. That's what they're going to say, dude. That's exactly what they're going to say. So, I mean, it's absolutely no doubt in my mind that they're full of shit. She's full of shit. You know, their entire story is full of shit. Everything. So now we move forward, and they start talking about the op-ed. They talk about, oh my God, I just forgot this. Dude, everything that I just said, okay, everything that I just said about her birthday and about the fights that she started with him and the scratching and how she was hitting him in the back of the head, everything about that was all going on while his mom was dying. His mom was in the hospital dying. Johnny Depp's mother, and Amber Heard knew that, and she was still treating him like shit every single day. While she would drink 2 bottles of wine every night, while she would be taking ecstasy. He said that he saw her take ecstasy multiple times. And they were together for years, so just imagine how many times she was doing that. And then they said, how many times did you see her taking shrooms? And he said 6 times. Like, damn, dude, that's a lot. I don't even think I've taken shrooms that many times in my entire life. So then his mom passes away. And this is the saddest part right here, because the guy is so nice. He's such a genuine person. And he forgives his mom. He tells her that he loves her. You know, he takes his kids to go see their grandmother. And he forgave her for all the abuse that she did to him. You know, he's a genuinely nice man. Way better than me. I'll tell you that right now. Way better than me. And then, once they're going to start getting divorced, he tells Amber Heard, we want to end this in love. Dude, he didn't want to end the divorce with hate. He didn't want to end it with any kind of animosity. He just wanted to be, he wanted good. He wanted to be loved. Like, he wanted it to be positive. And this woman is not positive. She's not a positive person. She's just not. And now we get into the pièce de résistance. Apparently, Amber Heard took a shit on Johnny Depp's side of the bed. I'm going to say that again. Amber Heard took a shit on Johnny Depp's side of the bed. So we're going to go ahead and start a new hashtag. And there's been one going around Twitter. And that's what we were talking about. We saw it. Amber Turd. The new hashtag, Amber Turd. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Could you imagine if you're with someone and you're married to this person, and then all of a sudden you're somewhere and you find out that they took a shit on your bed? What fucking dimension are we living in? Like, what are we talking about here? So then, get this shit. Then they play all the audio recordings that we've already heard. They're here on my channel. You'll be able to find them. Then they play a couple of other ones that were kind of hard to hear, but I got the stuff down. She was calling him a stingy old fucking piece of shit, and she tells him, "I hope Jack, which is Johnny Depp's stepson, or Johnny Depp's son, excuse me. I hope Jack's stepfather can teach him how to be a man because you couldn't." Dude, it's just verbal abuse. That's all she was doing to him every goddamn day. The woman doesn't like him. She doesn't. I'm sorry, look, I'm just so fucking amped up about this. I don't think she liked him. I don't think she ever loved him. I think he was a mark. I think she tried to play him for all of his money. And then to top it off, there's really not anything that important here. They talk about the op-ed and they talk about Jack. They talk about Pirates of the Caribbean. We're going to talk about the cross-examination tomorrow because the cross-examination, Amber Heard's attorney came on and he started being a fucking asshole. He tried to start saying a bunch of bullshit. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay, but right there, what you should have seen is after the break, okay, after the break, Amber Heard comes back and she's all right. She's like that. She's fine. But you know how she was the entire time during the trial, all day today. Okay, and that's one thing. But then after she realizes that the camera is on her face, she literally changes her face back. Dude, I'm gonna leave it there. Honestly, I'm gonna leave it there. I mean, I don't know. I just want to slam the phone down. I don't know. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for staying with me on this recap of Johnny Depp's Day 2 testimony. Tomorrow we have the cross-examination from um, Amber Heard's attorney, which he's obviously a piece of shit. We can already tell. I don't know, man. I'm so disappointed. I really, really am. Because if Johnny Depp had done even 1/10 of what Amber Heard did, he'd be in prison right now. That woman deserves to be in prison. That woman deserves to be a piece of shit felon. That woman she cut off his fucking finger. She she threw vases at him. She threw bottles of vodka at him. She threw a can of mineral spirits at him. Those things that you like wipe down. I don't know, like metal or something. She did so much verbal abuse. She did so much emotional abuse. She shit on his bed. What the fuck? I can't even believe I just said that. I can't even believe this is happening. Where are we? What is going on? This is a woman. This is a woman. They're supposed to be nice. They're supposed to, I remember when I was a kid, I used to think girls didn't poop. That's how I thought. That's how I thought it was. That's how I thought things were. Like girls don't poop. They're girls. They're nice. They don't poop. And then now we're here, and you find out that a woman took a shit on Johnny Depp's bed. Oh my god. Okay, well we're gonna leave it there. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for staying with me on this one. We just hit 27:30. It's been a long fucking day, man, and this is gonna continue. The thing is, I wanted to let you guys know. I don't know if I'm gonna be getting anyone else's testimony. I only care about his and Amber Heard's, so I'm gonna stick to those two. So if anybody else testifies, I don't think I'm gonna bother with it. So yeah, like I said, thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for staying with me this long. We will catch you next time.